So there it is, the finished product. I'm very happy with it now. I was happy with it 2 iterations ago. That was almost the same as this, but I reinforced the inside Technic infrastructure this time. I learned a bit when I was trying to get the landing gear to fold up inside the wings, how I can make it stronger. So I adapted that to basically be exactly the same as I had it before. So the landing gear just goes to there, and it goes to there, and it goes to there, and that's it. Yeah, so it's a little unflush, as they say. Now, what you can do is my friend Mark Sandlin, who's been in classic spacing before, well before I ever did, on Lugnet, he took some of those gray pieces that were left over and he built a second layered here, so it would match more closely to the original 918 that had the bump out at the bottom where the guy was sitting. And I thought that was a brilliant solution. And he put the landing gear in that. I really want to try that, but I think I'm done. This is, I think, my 4th or 5th, maybe even 6th iteration of modifying the 918 to have landing gear that retracts. And I've taken it as far as I want to take it right now. I might revisit it some point in the future, but I'm going to go on and I'm going to do some cleaning up of the leg room. This is crooked. So as my previous video said, you have to modify this piece to get that Technic piece out of here, so you can use it for the landing struts, because that's where it's supposed to go. And you modify, so you look in the interior here. It's a solid steering wheel. It's not on any kind of hinge. And this is kind of completely snibbed, taken from my friend Chris Giddens. When I saw that on his, I said, that's just brilliant. So I wanted to do that here. I don't know. I think he mentioned to me to get rid of the 4x6 Technic bricks that I used inside, and they're inside there. Basically, he's in that little cubby that you saw in the last video, and you can see the end of it right there. He said get rid of that, and you can easily, just because I got the 2. Let's just flip it over. You can't see them though. Oh, you got this one, right? The 4x6 here, and you got the 4x6 here. You can just get rid of those 2 4x6 Technic rectangles and just substitute not the 10, the black. Substitute the black Technic beams to go all the way across here, and therefore you lose this piece here and you lose this piece here, and then you can actually get the guy to sit 1 stud back. So, but when I look at this, it looks like some people might say he should be farther back, but he's not hitting his head on the canopy, and you know, he's sitting straight upright like he should be. And the cockpit looks exactly like I would imagine it to look in this kind of universe. As you can see, the only problem is it's got the 2 gaping holes for those guys there. I'm not really that concerned about it. It's not a sealed cockpit. I could just put 2x2 gray plates inside there, inside the landing struts to hide those holes, but that's just too much effort for me. So I'm not worried about that at this point. Everything else, the rest of the build besides the antenna housing, the back piece here, this piece here, all this all the way to perimeter is exactly the same as the instructions. Just the interior of the cockpit's different. But even the parts that hold on to this thing, all the same. But I did, instead of the 1x6 tile going across, I put the 1x3s with the 2 studs on top, and I hit them with these 1x2 gold bar, but white bar tiles. I think that looks awesome. I'm very happy with that. I'm very happy that he can sit upright. I'm very happy that he looks good inside the cockpit. This is a one-man ship, the one-man spaceship, like I said in the original 918. And oh, the other thing I noticed, I didn't notice until my 3rd or 4th iteration, is when I was building this thing, I put this piece on the bottom, and that's not part of the instructions, I don't think. I couldn't find it in the instructions again. But there was a spare one, and I just thought that was part of the instructions, so I put them on there. And then when I rebuilt it, I said, hey, that piece isn't actually on there. Maybe it is. Maybe I just didn't notice it. But I did put the piece on the bottom to make the bottom look a little bit better. But other than that, this guy's done. He's solid. He's swooshable. He's like, as I say, the entire build, basically besides the centerpiece with the Technic beams and the interior of the cockpit, it's identical to the instructions that they came with. And it has landing gear, which is what I wanted. So it's a win-win. The bottom is filled in basically. I mean, obviously the wing plates are exactly where they're supposed to be. This part is a little different. I originally had the 4x6 here, but I wanted to keep these two blue 1x4 Technic bricks in place. So I put the 2x6 here and the 2x2 out back here. So at least the bricks can't come out. Now, you don't need that because, again, on this side, the other friction pegs right in the black Technic beam that goes all the way across, so that's pretty solid. These things would be, the 1x4 blue Technic bricks are not going to move too much, but this is just added security. And I didn't bring it all the way across because I wanted these parts here to go below the wing plates here. You can see it just folds up a little bit better than it did before. Just like that one folds right into there. I could technically put the 2x2s here like they have in the other instructions. I think this will detract from it. Yeah, it's not going to do anything, so screw it. Just screw it. Oops, I shouldn't have pushed down hard. My nose broke. Pushing down on it. There you go, all fixed. So anyway, I think my job here is done. It was an absolute fun build. I think one of the reasons why I spent so much time wanting to modify this, because as I said earlier, this was the first classic space that I got, the 918 in 1979, 1978, whenever I got it. I was 11 or 12 at the time. Oh, I forgot two pieces. I was so busy putting it back together. Let me put this piece on here so you guys will say, hey, you forgot a piece. I'm sure I forgot other pieces too. Where's the other one? There it is. Put it on this side. But it feels as solid as it does without the landing gear, and that's what I wanted. Anyway, so yeah, I got the 918, and it is, for nostalgic reasons, it is my favorite. There are other favorites for other reasons. But as I say, I had that thing by itself for a whole year before I got other classic space sets. And so it is the one that I had so many adventures with as a kid. And so when they re-released the set and I heard about the alternate builds, I said, I am going to build the 918 version first. And I did, and I thought it was awesome. But I said the biggest deficiency, especially after I built the 928, and I'm going to build a 924 because I already looked through the instructions, is that they have landing gear and this one did not. And that honestly, it did bother me. Not like I got to lose sleep over it or anything, but it did bug me. I said, these guys should have landing gear because the other ones do. And I'm not saying the Lego company, the person who came up with this idea of the set was deficient, because it's a little bit of work to get this thing in here, and it doesn't work nearly as well as the other two, right? Because that's it. Right, whereas that one, you can see it's already flush right inside. But of course, that has the room for it, and this one does not. And again, as I said, I did build a version of this where the landing gear completely retracts inside, but then there is no structural integrity to the entire ship. And the guy is sitting on two studs, and the rest of it's open air, because when these things are open, you can see right through this whole center part. Now, my buddy Chris, what he did is he didn't bother with trying to keep these two together. See, these two are together here because there's this wing plate here, so I can't push it back farther, because I would love to push it back farther, because then I could actually have these things hidden inside. If I can move this back two studs, that would give me all the room in the world to put the guy in the middle, because he's sitting right here, right? That's where the guy's sitting. sort of spinning feet. But because these things went up inside, there was that takes away this room for the guy to sit. If I could push this thing back 2 studs at least, then I could actually hide the landing gear inside. As I say, hiding the front gear inside is pretty easy. I mean, I'm not doing it because I wanted them to be matching, but it was a back 2 that was difficult to hide. So what Chris did is he didn't bother with this. So you can see. Let me just get a pointer here. This guy here, if you push it back, will interfere with this wing plate here, and that's the big thing. This guy here will not interfere because you can go back 6 more studs if you wanted to. Right? Seriously, this is where that 4x6 is in the original instructions, and so this guy here would go back, and that was my original plan. Except I found the landing gear would be far too weak to just have one strut, because the other strut would disappear because you can't have it here, right? So it didn't work for me. The other thing I could have done is probably try to have both struts here and here, or here and here, and these 2 struts here and here, but then they're all basically they're connected to here on one side, and I couldn't think of how to do that nicely. So I didn't bother trying to push this back any farther because of these 2 wing plates here. So if somebody wants to give that a go, I'm not going to bother, but that was one of my original ideas, is that these 2 struts and these 2 struts would go in one stud and then back as far as you needed them to go. Probably here it would just have to go back 2 more studs here. So if it's like here, then these things would fold up into this area here, which would leave you all this whole area right here to put the guy, which I think would be fantastic. But that interferes with how good the landing gear works, because the 924 and the 928 have this type of style of landing gear where you have these struts coming down and the flare outs on each side of the landing pad, instead of having the 2. Basically, you'd be doing this, and I don't know how you would do it. Get rid of this guy. This would be in the middle here somewhere, like that, right? That's how the landing struts, to me, I visualize the landing struts if you move it over 1 stud and then back, right? And how is that supposed to, like, it's basically just held on by 2 studs instead of 4 studs. So I didn't bother doing that. It was an idea, and I did run with it for a second, but I actually scrapped that idea even before I finished building the entire set. Like the 2 or 3 of my ideas, like, as I say, making these things completely go inside. I finished building the entire set, and if you go on my Facebook, you can see that evolution there. And as you say, there's a whole area here that had no floor to it because it wouldn't fit, because the landing gear had to be there. I mean, in the end, and the guy was sitting higher, straight up. He was sitting higher, so he had to lean back because he was hitting the windshield, and I didn't like that. So there was a few reasons why I didn't keep that. The guy was sitting higher. He was 1 stud back, but he was still sitting higher, and he had to like be laying back because his head would be hitting the windshield. Now, as I say, if I get rid of this 4x6 square here, that's right there that this guy's sitting in, the depression that he's sitting in. If I get rid of him, he can sit 1 step back, but then it's going to interfere with this thing here. So I don't want that either. I like this. It works. It works well. He is not hitting his head on the windshield. And he looks like he's supposed to be right in the middle, because it's kind of right in the middle. Would it be better to have him farther back? I don't know. Like, you look at this Buzz Lightyear when he's sitting right in the back. That could do that, but nah. I think this is nice. Anyway, I'm okay with this. I am going to call it a night. This was a fun weekend of modifying this guy. I have all the spare parts and pieces strewn about here because of my various working on it. But I am done. I'm honestly done. I'm happy with it the way it is. I'm happy I put the effort into it. I'm happy I tried all the various ways of doing it so I could get it out of my system. But in the end, I think there is absolutely nothing wrong with this whatsoever. I am doing it with one hand. There you go. No 1x2 gray, so I did the 1x2 trans red. That's fine. And other than that, I really like this. So I'm going to go to bed now because it's late, and I'm gonna go hang out with my wife. So that's it. I want everybody to stay safe. I want everybody to take care. If you have any ideas, suggestions, if you found somebody on YouTube's or somewhere else's that have a better idea of retractable landing gear for the 918s, I see my friend Chris's, I see my friend Mark's. They are better than mine. Straight up, they are better than mine because they're awesome builders. And I've always been in awe since, you know, Lugnet 20 plus years ago of their builds. So I know that they've already made better builds than I have, but in the end, this is mine. This is my iteration, and I'm happy with it, and I can't complain at all. And like, I can even do it with one hand, hopefully without breaking anything. And let's see if we can get this one up. There we go. Because I got the antenna on, and it's gonna break. There we go. Because I was like seeing this guy landing like that. So I think that looks just so cool. I'm happy with this set. I really am. I think it's a fantastic set as it is. But I also had fun trying to modify it. And this is my quote-unquote final iteration. So everybody out there, stay safe, take care. I hope you enjoyed coming along on this little trip with me for the 918 rebuild. And if you have any questions or you need any for clarifications or any pictures, I do have a bunch on Facebook showing you the various levels and the various changes I did. And again, not too many, and it's just basically the center part right here, from here to here inside. The rest of it's identical to the original build, which is also what I wanted to do. So that's it. That's all. Everybody stay safe, take care, be kind to your neighbors, and I'll talk to you soon.